Howdy, 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 and welcome my friends, gamers, city planners, and other enthusiasts to the next episode of City Skylines II, where we are recreating the Battletech Inner Sphere on a vanilla City Skylines map. This is, of course, your host, BoydofZINJ. I welcome you back. This is the next episode. Just a few quick things I want to let you know. First, I've been very ill, and I've also been working. The closer we get to January, the busier I'm getting. So, as a result, I may not be playing games as much because real life calls, and I'm a 50-plus-year-old gentleman here in Texas, and I have to work for a living. Second, I'm extending the episodes to an hour. 30-minute stuff just didn't work for me. It took longer to edit. More editing is less gameplay. Takes about the same amount of time if I do a 30-minute or an hour. I much rather do an hour vid. And most of my hour vids are going to probably be more like an hour and 5, hour and 10 minutes. So, take that with a grain of salt. The other thing I did too is I purposely been kind of holding off playing City Skylines 2. Unfortunately, this game's a little underbaked. If you remember, I was playing Star Trek Infinite. I stopped playing that game, and the reason I stopped playing that game, it's completely, it's workable, but there's a lot of bugs in it. Like the Klingon Bird of Prey was completely broken. I hear they fixed it, but I'm going to wait a few patches before I play that game again. It has lots of promise, but I could tell that it's mostly a Federation game, 1, and 2, it needs a lot more polish. Now, my research into City Skylines, yes, there's some problems. Mostly with performance, but early game, it shouldn't matter. Some of the economy is a little broke. That's fine. There was a patch today that fixed some of the stuff too. So we're going to try it. And after an hour or two, if I don't like it, I may have to wait 2 more patches before I continue. So, the other thing I've been doing is I've decided to do some quick fixes to the game. My format's going to change a little bit. I'm basically going to start off with let you know what the small changes I did, some of ideas I have, what I plan on doing in the future, the plans of the game, and let me start loading up the game. And I haven't touched the game until today. One other thing there's a few things I've done. You'll notice that I've also included natural disasters. You know what? That's fine. If a hurricane comes or a tsunami comes, that's fine. It's part of the fun. This is another game. I've also been seeing lots of streamers complain that the game crashes, so the game's now saving every 10 minutes or so. And yes, I probably should be in bed, but I've been sleeping a lot lately, and I'm starting to feel a lot better now, and so I'm kind of awake. But I will be going to bed soon. I'm probably going to finish this rest of this episode tomorrow. But whatever. So let me show you what I've done. What I should have done was move it back to where, well, it doesn't matter. What's this? Not enough customers. Yeah, I hear that's a bug. Now I haven't unpaused the simulation, so this might have been fixed. If you remember, 2 quick things. There's a fire happening here. Fire truck's coming. We'll once the simulation pauses, we'll figure out what happens there. I already know what happens. There's a storyline here. We also start following, and you'll notice there's other people here too. But we also start following our first council member, Archibald Trejo. Sleepy, wow. How do you go to him? Oh, there he is. Yep, he's sleeping with his family. Okay, and Archibald Trejo is going to be the senior council member for House Marik. And here's the more or less what Marik looked like at 3025. So you'll notice that the I'm trying to put the Innisphere map, and that's my goal, as this map here. That's my goal. So the other thing that I've done is I made the decision to make all the roads into planet names. Or I should say the vast majority. There's going to be a few, like the Captain General Parliament, which will still exist, right? Because those are natural things. But most of the roads are going to be based on the location. So you'll no longer see that this is no longer the Principality Street. The other thing, so there's a few roads that are kind of renamed. Strawberry Street. This got changed, and I forgot to change it. I forgot. You'll notice I do have natural disasters on, and I do apologize. The game crashed. Stability, stability, stability. Again, I mean, we have to wait a week or two for a patch. So, where was I? We found out that this street wasn't named properly. We called it the Marik Main Avenue. The street is now Cameron Jones Avenue. The other thing we did was we found earlier we had Councilman Archibald Trejo that we followed, and his daughter Cindy Trejo. The Councilman Archibald Trejo, Councilman Trejo, is going to be the senior council member for the Free Rogues League for House Marik. Remember, there's going to be multiple factions here. We're missing someone here. Another thing we found out was we are also going to be following council member Marik Robbins, who's part of the Free Rogues League. Also, Councilman Senior Adept Linda Shelley, who's a ComGuard representative for the ComStar. Another person we're following, and I bet you this would be the easiest way to find it. Again, the game's getting a lot better. Here we go. We also have Councilman, or Councilwoman, I should say, Lilia Rosales, who's going to be part of the, I believe, Regulus commonality, or Regulus faction within Free Rogues League. So those are the council members that we currently have. Remember, there's going to be multiple council members, but House Marik ultimately is only one of 5 major factions. Remember, this is still the inner sphere. So let's talk about plans. And this is the easiest way to look at the plans. And for right now, hold on. We're going to stop all the music. Let's talk plans. Not this. Remember, up is north. So this is the inner sphere, right? We have limited tiles, and I'm not going to plan it out. This is just a rough estimate, right? So right here is the center, roughly, right? So right here is roughly the center. So give or take, this centerpiece right here is going to be Terra. It's going to be the main downtown area, the main place where we're going to put our the main area of our town. We'll probably have like uh, some major subways, the city hall, a few large buildings here, right? With that, assuming this is Terra, this means, remember, we're trying to follow the inner sphere, that this part over here, and remember, this is not exact, we're not following the map exactly, but this right here is roughly going to be house, I'm sorry, the Capella Confederation or House layout, which means House Marik should be roughly this. Give or take, right? So this is House Marik, House Liao, and of course this will make Davian. And we'll probably move it up a little bit. Because again, it doesn't have to follow the map exactly. Which makes this over here Kurita and Steiner. So this is what I envision. That House Kurita needs to be a little larger. And again, these aren't, the boxes I'm clicking aren't going to be exact. Now you're wondering, what's this up here that I'm going, this is probably the Rouse Republic. Even though they're technically not around, the Free Rouse Republic in 3025, enough of faction exists where I'll probably bring them in. At least a small area. Now, because we can create tiles separately, my next town, the next thing I'm going to be up, once I'm done in this area. Oh, okay, so let's talk about Marik real fast. So, this is Marik. I plan on having the high school here. And yes, that's the middle of the highway. So, I plan on purchasing these 4 tiles probably sooner rather than later. Rather soon. Probably within this episode. And putting the high school somewhere here. And giving ComStar a small district, probably. After a while, we'll probably create a new city. And it'll be probably Tharkad. And it'll be something like this. Where it'll have access to the outside and its own area right here. And this is probably where we'll start building Tharkad for House Steiner. Now, why going Tharkad and why is separated like this? This map has a highway right here. So you'll notice I was following the highway. And again, don't look at these boxes and says, okay, this is exactly how I'm going to follow it. This is, just a general blueprint. Terrain, situation, how much I've unlocked and what I feel like at the moment. And of course, some roleplay flair may change some of the situations. The other thing that may change is some of these buildings are very large. The high school is very large. And the high school also unlocks additional areas. I plan on using the high school as the center of town in every major area. So there'll be, on the top left, House Steiner, the Lyran Commonwealth, right? Their main area is going to be surrounding, I only have one town hall, which is going to be Terra in the middle. So their town hall area, suburb area, if you will, is going to be their high school. The Free Rogues League, those 4 boxes I'm putting down here is going to have a high school somewhere in one of these 4. The the Capella Confederation probably has, their House Lyle high school somewhere over here. New Avalon, which is the Federated Sons, House Davian's high school would be somewhere here, and of course, don't forget the Draconis Combine, and Luthian's high school is probably going to be somewhere over here, or even here, give or take. And that it'll act as like the center of town for those areas. Education is very important here, so we're going to have to keep it up. We may even have additional high schools too. Who knows? The main reason I want to build a high school sooner than later is because education is how you get higher level buildings too. And of course, we need to unlock them as well, and that will be done in no time. One last thing I did is I also detailed the Tivstar Chicken Enterprises. Remember that's a name within the Free Rogues League. And you'll notice, well, bring up real close, there's a police car here. Interesting. That I surrounded this is a chicken factory, right? A chicken farm. But I surrounded the farm with a bunch of trees and bushes. Because I thought it appropriate. It makes it look very beautiful. And I think that's a very appropriate thing. I will not mind terraforming the place. Okay, so before we start, right here, like I said, the cemetery. This right here is a pedestrian road. And I don't know if it says it anywhere on here, but it's a pedestrian road. So the only way anyone can get here is through, pedestrians. So and this is also a pedestrian road up here, Lopez Drive. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change this into a major road if you want the cemetery here. So let's do that. And we're going to replace and then oops. We're going to move. Oh, and there's one last thing I want to show y'all. Relocate. And we'll relocate here. Remember how we found some castle ruins? Did you know we could move them? This will make a great artifact for Castle Bryan is a thing in Battletech. So this is exactly what I'm going to call it. Castle Bryan ruins, and then we'll move it. I haven't decided where yet. This will keep. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it. I do have a cinematic. Again, I do apologize if, for everything that's happened. And again, I've been sick. I should be, back to my, more or less, my normal schedule. But of course, because it's coming closer to my very, very, very busy season, I may not be playing games as much as I want to. And recording is a chore sometimes. You'll also notice I changed the color from blue to this orange color. For me, it makes my eyes look a little better. And if you're wondering why is the sky so goofy looking, it's because it's dawn. If you remember, the night just happened, so the morning is just coming up. Please watch the cinematic. If you want to skip it, just watch. Skip to the next minute and a half. Until then, thank you very much. And again, I really appreciate you. And welcome back to From the Cinematics. I hope you enjoyed it. Where we're going to now finally start the game. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start unpolishing the game. Let's just do a quick reminder. Oh, one quick note. We added one extra person we're following. We're following ROM agent Angelina Diaz, who happens to be working at the same place where the fire is starting. Listen to fire noise. Currently, it's called Leto Electronics. However, Leto Electronics. So here's the deal. Leto Electronics was one of the very first people to move into this region, and within days of setting up shop, Leto Electronics announced to the world that they had a patent that could revolutionize the way how people communicate worldwide. We could transmit and receive data, including internet signals and cell phone signals, across country at 5,000 times the speed of conventional current speed. It was going to be called the 5 gigahertz, which would have been 5,000 times faster than a 5G network. A 5,000G network, in fact. However, upon hearing that, they had to recruit additional people, one of which was a ComStar agent, Angelina Diaz. The day she got in there, mysteriously a fire happened, and this ComStar agent, who also has to be part of a faction within ComStar called ROM, contacted her superiors, and her superiors have purchased this electronics store. And the electronics store has been renamed ROM Advanced Electronics. It's located at 22 Marik Main Avenue in the region. How convenient that, an organization that tries to keep secrets and technology to themselves, advanced technology to themselves, purchased this. But, I'm sure it was a coincidence. Let's find out what happens. Here's the fire agents. And let me turn down the sound of fire. That's kind of loud. Gameplay, audio. All right, unpausing. Now in CS1, City Skylines 1, you could actually see real firemen come out. And here, I don't think we saw real firemen. How disappointing. But I'm sure that'll be patched in. We're going to let the gameplay go on to August, and then we'll decide. To my knowledge, there's no time. 1 month is equal to 24 hours. So it doesn't give us a day. Oh, look, a truck. Delivery is being delivered. Let's see where it's going to here. Okay. Use one of the roundabouts. Alright, it's living. Oh, it's going to West Mansfield. Okay. I wonder if we can rename this. Huh. Very interesting. Let's take a look at the event one more time before it leaves. Oh, signature building. We'll worry about that later. What we're doing is we're letting the game got patched twice since the last time I played it. Plus, we made a few changes. Oh, one change I did do is I didn't connect all the power lines properly, so I had to add a ComStar transformer station here, and I connected it to. I also created a ComStar transformer station here, and underground I was able to connect the wires, which is what we're seeing here. Plus, we also added these small wires to make sure that everything's connected to the big power, small power. Let's see what our power looks like. This is where I discover something very, very unusual. We're not collecting garbage, and yet we're not having garbage problems. And then I realized we have a bunch of garbage trucks coming to this city. And then I noticed there's a huge accident involving, ironically enough, a garbage truck. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but the simulation
They're very generous about garbage right now. I'll take it. We're losing money per month, day, cycle, whatever it is. The other realization that came out, if I didn't make this clear, is in this game, 24 hours in game is considered 1 month, which means every hour is considered 1 day, and there's only 24 days in a year, or in a month. I'm sorry, 12 months in a year. In this crazy simulated, and remember, in my universe, quote unquote, in this game, I'm pretending that this is a different planet. This isn't Earth. This is Neo Terra II, and I do have a cinematic. Please watch the cinematic. If you don't like every cinematics, skip forward about a minute and a half. But thank you. Now I'm just looking at the terrain, thinking about how I'm going to expand.
In 2108, humanity began colonizing the stars. Their reach would eventually span a vast region of space known as the Inner Sphere. During its golden age, under the governance of the Star League, the Inner Sphere experienced unprecedented peace, prosperity, and technological advancement. But with a great rise comes a great fall. Beset by greed and mistrust, humanity splintered. The Star League crumbled. Technological advancement slowed. The great houses, each vying for supremacy, turned on one another, engaging in a series of conflicts.
I fixed the resolution issue. We're going to take a quick tour of the city. And I do apologize, I know we were going to get into stuff, but I'm still new at this, right? Thank you very much for staying with me and taking a quick tour of the city. I know that this is unusual that we're doing it towards the middle of the game, which we'll do it later on as well. And it's because I messed up in the resolution. Again, I've been ill. I haven't been recording in a while. I'm still new at recording. I'm doing this as a hobby. I'm a one-man show. No one else is helping me. You know, enough excuses. I made a mistake. Luckily I figured it out. I fixed it, and the resolution looks a lot better on screen. Trust me. I'm glad I took the time to look at what I was doing before I posted everything, because the graphics look terrible in the very first half of this. So I'm glad that it's back to normal. Thank you for entertaining me and bearing with me with the screen resolution. Like I said, it's been fixed. This is now episode 3, and ComStar news feed for August 2023 edition has been released. Center article: first city council meeting held. That probably should be a capital H there at the end. Oh well. Right article: city council votes to abolish roundabouts in most, not all, areas. Left article: garbage trucks are stealing trash. Fact or fiction? We have trash/garbage. Okay, this is the news article that ComStar recently released, and yes, the city council did have a meeting, and what has happened is the very first meeting was held at the local school. Until we have a town hall, traditionally speaking, city council, mayors, and governors have their town meetings, council meetings in large public areas such as schools. Normally high schools, but there's no high school yet, so we're using the elementary school, Jamie Wolf Elementary School. With that being said, the very first situation was Archibald Trejo, the senior representative for the House Marik faction, which is the predominant faction that's currently colonizing this area, brought forth a motion to ban runabouts in most, but not all, areas. The reason being is he's been receiving lots of complaints from business owners complaining that runabouts sometimes block pedestrians from walking through. And as a result, since there's less walkable areas, local businesses are suffering. The motion passed with a 2-0 victory. As a result, we're going to be redesigning the city. We're going to still use runabouts such as like in cul-de-sac situations and large high traffic areas. Low traffic areas will go back to being a traditional intersection. So I'm redesigning the city. Likewise, the second resolution that was passed was, and this time ComStar, requested it, is that we are going to be moving in and making progress towards building a high school. The high school is a very prominent feature in most local governments until a city hall is built. And we need to start building the high school as soon as possible. So the high school will be the central part, and maybe even eventually a college will be the central area for the quote-unquote House Marik faction. And like I showed you previously on this map, I plan on putting it more or less here at the center, give or take. Unbeknownst to the city council members and mayor, Archibald Trejo has been taking illicit funds from local businesses to push this agenda of the no runabouts, which is why it passed and why it was the very first, strongest resolution, and it's even on the news. So the two main things we're going to be planning for is we are going to be redesigning the roads, taking away the roundabouts, not runabouts. This isn't Deep Space Nine Star Trek. the roundabouts. And we are going to be planning and trying to move forward in getting a high school in the area. Let's start. And I'm going to be fast forwarding as we redesign. And then, you know, occasionally talking in major situations. My ideas. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to redesign the road system. Now, major intersections such as this and here they're still going to have the roundabouts. This one over here, I think, is going to be considered a major intersection, so I'm going to keep it as well. Same thing about this one. However, this is not a major intersection. This is considered a cul-de-sac, and cul-de-sacs are allowed. All of these over here are not major intersections. This is not a major intersection. I'm going to keep this one. It's a half and half measure. There's a reason why. Remember, this is a one-way street, and this is not a one-way street. So this is their way of getting back. If they're coming down and accidentally go too far south, or they have some business over here, they have to take the roundabout. These are not major intersections. None of these are major intersections. However, the ones at the ends of the roads are all considered cul-de-sacs and are allowed. Alright, I'm going to fast forward as I redesign this. And again, this one's a half and half measure that we're keeping. I'm taking a small pause here. And notice how I renamed this to Zanzibar Lane. There's a few reasons, and I'm going to turn down the music real fast. I feel the music. That's not the music. It's rather loud right now. So, here's the reason why I'm pausing. And I guess this might be a Tamarin situation. Since this is the Tamarin area. Let's first talk about the one thing I noticed here. So I have the power plant there, which is great. This is exactly what I want. And I want this campfire site. It's great sites. It will draw in, some people to visit these places. Problem is, it looks like there should be a pedestrian road here. In fact, let's take a look at that pedestrian road. Alley, gravel, pedestrian street. Here we go. And I'll even take out the snaps so that way. Well, maybe it doesn't. I mean, it almost looks like it should. Maybe it's a gravel road. That's what it is. Let's try the gravel road. And convert it to gravel. See now. No. But notice how it kind of looks like it should enter something. So I'm a little concerned about that. And maybe what the real issue is that we should have two parks exactly the same here. It doesn't look right. So I'm going to destroy one of them. But this really seems like it should be a road of its own. Tell me in the comments below what you think. How I should fix this area. The other thing too is, since we're here in Cameron and we're doing stuff, we kind of want to start producing grain. And this is the area, because now we can get grain, which does require this. So this is what I'm thinking. And then here's the train, which we'll eventually utilize soon. That, I guess we should put the road in first. At first, I'm going to respect the topography and build the roads and the farm using the terrain. However, I find that the road is fine using the terrain. The farm, I'm going to have to build at right angles. And I did alter, try to like mess with the terrain a bit, but I'm not an expert at this, and I still like the way how the road is real close to the water. I don't like the way how it's still trying to build stuff onto the water, but it is what it is. And you'll notice that I'll eventually give up on trying to put the farm here, and then I'll eventually create another road where I'm going to make it right angle to the map right here and put the farm there. I hope you enjoy. So this is still a Tamarin area. Now, you'll notice I created a grain farm. And on the grain farm, where is the info? I had some trouble. And I've been told there's a bug that occasionally when you place it and deconstruct it and place it again, it becomes invisible, which you saw. So I had to place it a few times. It's not 100. It's sure I could, make it efficient, but I also want to make it pretty too, So that's the reason why I kind of went at right angles here. At first, I was going to have the road end over here and have it, kind of diagonal, but it didn't look pretty in my point of view. So I wanted to have at least a few right angles here, and I aligned it to the edge of the map. Now for the names of the streets. This is a gravel road, and we're going to name it after one of the planets here. Milanungra. Boy, I'm not a great Marik person, you can also tell. So this street got renamed. We'll worry about that in a moment. Then we're going to rename this bridge into Hammer Bridge. I don't like the way how they just keep on renaming streets without my permission, right? This was Caroccio. I'm gonna butcher the name of this street. Oh. So that's how you change. That's what's happening. So that's the way how you change it. Interesting. Katsuyukiro Street. And we're going to rename this to Gibraltar. Again, all these are planets within the Free Worlds League, and primarily These are planets in the Tamarind area. Low water here. I'll have to fix that in a moment. The other thing you'll notice that I did, and this is why I want to pause, we also got access to low rent housing. So I thought it appropriate to have the low rent housing here. So we're going to fix this water. The water, this is, it's an experiment. I wanted the road on the water to see if no zoning area would appear, but sure enough, zoning area is appearing, which I do not like. So what we're going to do to try and fix this is raise the land a little bit. So that's the reason why there's actual water. It's not seeing it because it was actually underwater. See, the game doesn't tell you all this stuff sometimes. All right, I'm taking a small pause here. I know that it's unusual. What am I doing here? You notice I redesigned this area, the southwest area, which we considered was the Rimworld commonality. Why? A few things. First, we got access to low rent housing, and I also have access to districts. I'm going to make each principality of the Free Worlds League its own district. So I'm also including housing, and since the Rimworld commonality is considered poor, I figure this would be a great opportunity for low rent housing. And yes, I do have some medium, and I'll also have some regular housing, and but this would be a great area for low rent housing. I just wanted to let y'all know that's my current thoughts on the area. In fact, I'll make this area right here regular housing, and all of this over here would be nothing but low rent. And again, the whole purpose about this is going to be considered the poor area of the Free Worlds League, right? And then to offset it, commercial, and some office because we do have office, but we're not going to have a decent demand. Now, because it's going to be its own district, what we're also going to do is we're going to have every zone its own relocate, its own high school, or I'm sorry, elementary school. Interesting. We'll worry about that later. And let's zone it off. This will be the first time I used districts. The Rimworld Commonality Free Rogues League District. I guess keeping it house, see, that's too long. Just the Rimworld Commonality will suffice. Now, we don't have any specialized services. The main reason we're doing this is now we can say only people in the Rimworld Commonalty will go to Jamie Wolf Elementary School. We can also put its own dedicated police department, fire department, or what have you here as well. But I plan on putting elementary schools in all the major zones and maybe one additional one to cover everybody else. Let me know in the comments if you think that's an appropriate area. This would be the Gibson area up here. We've done Tamarind, so let's do Tamarind now. We're going to create we're almost done here. I know this is very long. We're going to create the Tamarind district. And once we do that, we're going to add elementary school here. And then we're going to create the Gibson area, principality. And then again, create a elementary school here as well, and make the elementary school work only in the selected district. I think that does it. Yep. See, this only operates in the Rimworld Commonality, which means we're going to have to come up with a naming convention. I'm thinking mercenaries for elementary schools. 3025 mercenary units to be exact. 3025 and before. I do believe the Waco Rangers were employed in the Free Rogues League in 3025, but I have to double check on that. And I'll double check the name of the regions. I think it's the Duchy of Tamarind. In fact, let me just name it the Duchy of Tamarind right now. If I'm wrong, I'll change it by next episode. And I believe it's the Principality of Gibson, the Rimroad Commonalty. So these are the three main areas of the Free Rogues League that we have. We're going to close out the episode, letting the simulation run till the next month. It's August, what? August the 7th. Remember, every hour is considered a day, and they have 24 days in 1 month in this crazy simulation / world. And you'll notice what I did. I did add some commercial buildings, some industry buildings, and very little office zones. Office zones requires a lot of higher education. We don't have higher education right now. But I do believe, yes, there's some office zones in every district and some non-districts. So there'll be a few people who won't get access to elementary schools, but most of the residents should have access to elementary schools, and each elementary school will service their specific areas. I like this. Is it efficient? Who knows? Is our budget doing good? No. We're gonna run the simulation, and we'll end it on this. Thank you very much for coming on my journey. This will conclude this episode of City Skylines 2, where we are making this area, the San Francisco map, into the inner sphere. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this was a unusual episode. We didn't make any progress to make it to high school. Things came up, you know. Again, we're growing this organically. This episode was also to let the simulation run. I was AFK for 2 weeks. I want to have 2 different patches upload. That way we can make sure that some of the bugs and performance issues got fixed, which we saw a few of. And the one unusual thing which people are complaining about,
which I'm having the inverse problem, is trash. A lot of people are complaining their trash system's not working and it's overflowing. I'm having the exact opposite problem. I have 0 trash collectors, but yet other cities are coming to my city and collecting all the trash. So, and I don't see anywhere where I'm being charged for it, so why should I even bother building trash? It seems like other people are picking up my trash for me. I'll continue to do that until something happens, right? Let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. But thank you very much, and I'll be posting this shortly, and hopefully the next episode will be very shortly after that, and we'll make progress, I promise, to a new high school, and then we'll start, building up the House Steiner / the Lyran Commonwealth. Until next time, my friends, thank you very much for, bearing with me, and I'm sorry for the delays in posting this video. Again, I was sick. Real life happens. Yada, yada, yada. Have a great day wherever you're at. It's that time of the video where I'd say adios. Thank you for watching. And if you're hearing this, I really like to say thank you for staying at least this long or skipping to the end. I really appreciate it. Better yet, the YouTube gods seem to enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, click on the bell icon, send notification alerts. It really does help content creators like myself. I need the help. If you have any suggestions about my YouTube content or my channel or about this video, I'd love to hear it. Please leave a comment. Regardless, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay safe, be entertained, enjoy life, and until next time, adios, goodbye. Hope your RNG is better than mine. Thank you.